Ah, hey everybody, this is Lord of the Jimmy, and now it's time for another installment of Jimmy's Rants. And today's rant, the election, which has been plaguing our lives for the last year and a half, and I'm really happy it's almost over. Voting day is tomorrow, and I got a bad feeling it's probably going to drag out. We may not know who won that night. It may take a little while. Although I think sometimes they make these polls closer than they actually are. I think Obama's probably going to win. I think he's got a pretty good lead in Ohio, so he's probably going to win. But you never know. I mean, look what happened in 2000. So you may notice I don't really talk about politics a lot on my channel because I know a lot of people are very sensitive about it, and just in general, I've grown very disenchanted with the whole system and the whole way politics brings out the worst in people sometimes. It's really too bad. So I do want to point out that if your views differ from mine, then there's nothing, I mean, all that really means is that you're wrong and I'm right. But I don't look down on anybody for their beliefs. There's everybody's got different reasons for how they vote or how they view politicians. I'll just get mine out of the way right now. I'm sure a bunch of you already know that I'm liberal. I'm very liberal. I grew up in a pro-union family. I'm very pro-union. And of course, unions and businesses are usually at each other's throats. So naturally, I'm not very big for businesses. So in general, I tend to side more with the Democrats than I do with the Republicans. Although I got my own problems with the Democrats, but let's talk for a minute about President Obama. I voted for Barack Obama back in 2008, and I can just tell you on the election night, it was a very moving night. The fact that we elected a black man as president only almost 150 years after slavery was abolished, and really only like 50 or 60 years since we abolished Jim Crow laws. I mean, it's a pretty incredible achievement for the United States of America. Unfortunately, I don't think racism has been fully defeated, but I'll get to that in a second. So what do I think of Obama now? Well, I should admit that the whole change we can believe in and the whole, the country's just going to magically fix itself after Obama wins the election, I call bullshit on that. I knew that wasn't actually going to happen. We're in a terrible recession, and it wasn't going to get magically fixed. And, and people were shocked at this, that Obama didn't magically fix everything. Well, that's not the way things work, And also, the president doesn't have a lot of power. You've also got Congress to deal with, which I put a lot more blame on Congress than I do for Obama's in terms of lack of improvement, especially since Congress, mostly the Republicans, although I think the Democrats have a lot need to share some of the blame, especially how a lot of the conservative Democrats really destroyed the health care bill, in my opinion. Yeah, I actually think they could have done more with health care. But I just feel like the whole just saying no and, making sure that Obama is a one-term president is our highest priority, I feel like that's such a terrible way to go about politics. But, that's the game. That's, politicians are evil. But that aside, I'm kind of surprised at how much Obama got done. I mean, the GM bailout and the stimulus package, and I think he's done. I think he's on the right track. I mean, the economy is slightly improving. It's not improving a lot, but it's not getting worse. I thought it was going to get worse. I thought we were going to enter another Great Depression. In terms of foreign affairs, I think he's done very well. One of the big reasons I voted for him was because I wanted the Iraq War to end. I could go on forever about the Iraq War. I was against it from day one, and I don't even want to talk about it because it makes me really angry. But the Iraq War, I'm very glad it ended. Well, it did end. There's still troops in Iraq, but it was a very emotional day when they all finally came back from Iraq. I think, I mean, what can I say about him killing Osama bin Laden? The night Osama bin Laden was killed, I went down to Ground Zero, and it was an experience. It was an incredible experience, and I think there are people who would say, well, it doesn't really matter, it didn't do anything. And while I'll agree in terms of like a military standpoint, maybe it wasn't the highest priority, but it really gave closure to the families who lost people on 9/11 and really American people in general. And, I think that Obama is on the right track, and I would like to see what he's going to do in the next 4 years, but he's really got to deliver. I think he has to deliver. In terms of Mitt Romney, has everybody forgotten about George W. Bush? I mean, because basically Mitt Romney's whole idea of about I can't speak right now. Economics is basically the same as George W. Bush. Let's just lower taxes. Let's deregulate all of everything, and it's just like, really, people think, oh, that's the good thing to do. We should do that. Have you already forgotten? I mean, I actually had a good friend of mine who is a registered Republican. He's more of a independent, and he said, I don't trust Romney. That's what he said. There's something about him I just don't trust, and I kind of get where he's going at, because, he's against Obamacare. Mitt Romney's against Obamacare, which is basically Romney care. And he says, I'm going to abolish Obamacare once I'm there. And then later he comes out and says, there's actually some things in Obamacare that I like. And there's this whole flip-flopping issue, which goes back to the 2004 election. But, I don't really know what his stance on that is. And I think he's kind of got that stance on a lot of issues. In terms of the whole, and I think a big thing is like his energy independence, and his whole thing is, let's build a big giant pipeline up to Canada to put more oil. It's like, really, you're really thinking about oil? I mean, look, I know that gas prices are high, and I realize that, but, we gotta think more about the future. I mean, Obama's out there trying to invest in clean technology, and we gotta do that. We can't just keep hoping that, somehow we're just gonna always stay on oil. We're not going to. There's this whole thing on oil has got to stop. We need to invest more in, solar technology and wind technology and other technologies that haven't even been developed yet. I hate to sound like a hippie, but look, this is the frickin' planet, and we're gonna build this giant oil pipeline running through the wilderness. Like, we haven't raped this planet enough, So that's a big issue on my part, and I'm very glad that Obama's completely against it. Let me talk for a minute about taxes. I want to talk about taxes because that's kind of a big issue here. Everybody's all up in arms about taxes. My view about American economics, and I'm not an economist, I'm not the most brilliant guy when it comes to the economy, but it seems to me, if you want to get things done, you need to pay taxes. Or you need to charge taxes. You need to do whatever it is about taxes. And, because there's basically, as I see it, two schools of thought about this. There's the Democrats' view, which is you raise taxes, mostly on wealthy people, and you spend the money and you try to fix things. You spend money on infrastructure and, healthcare and education and everything else that you need to spend money on. Whereas the Republican, their stance is that they, keep taxes low for everybody, including the rich people, and they don't spend any money. Well, that's what they supposedly do, but, they spend money like crazy anyway. That's my heater, if anybody could hear that. But, yeah, the heater's making noise like crazy. I don't know why. I'm scared. Capital gains taxes, which I need to talk about. Look, for those of you who don't know, capital gains taxes, again, I'm not an economist. I don't know the most about this stuff, but capital gains taxes are basically the income taxes you pay when you're investing in Wall Street or the stock market or whatever else people invest in. I have no idea. I don't invest money in anything. I don't know anybody who does, because I don't know. Well, I know some people who do, but it's, for the most part, middle income, blue collar people don't usually invest in companies, and I think the capital gains tax rate is like 16%. I think I could be wrong about that, but it's ridiculous. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous, and that is driving me absolutely insane. And this pipe I'm going to rant on next time. This pipe is driving me crazy. I woke up okay, I'm getting off track here. I'll rant about the pipe next time. Taxes and pipelines and oh my. Yeah, but I just feel like at this point I'm so tired of this election. I'm so tired. I feel like it's brought out the worst in people. I remember reading an article about that Bruce Springsteen and Bon Jovi were going to do a benefit concert to aid the victims of the hurricane, which I always think is great. I remember when 9/11 happened, they had the big telethon, and that was really a very moving experience for somebody who wasn't living in New York at the time. And just the comments were just awful. I mean, people saying like, this is bullshit. This is just a bunch of pro-Obama bullshit. I bet you this is just some, pro-Obama shit. Yeah, all these liberal New Yorkers. And I think I'd even written something like, dude, come on, I mean, this is a disaster. We need some help. And somebody had actually responded, go drown yourself or something. I don't know. But I'm very used to, for those of you who know Super Mario Guy and all the stuff that I do, I'm very used to negative comments. You can tell. I just feel like, what's going on with this country? Can't we all just get along? Well, that's never going to happen. We can't all just get along. The entire American system would break down. I think it's important to listen to the people you don't maybe agree with. Like, I like to listen to Republicans. I like and if there's anybody out there who's a Republican who's listening, please leave some comments below. I really would like to hear your opinion, and I'm not being facetious or anything. I really do. Just make them constructive or positive. I don't want to hear any more negativity. I'll just remove the comment if you write anything negative. But I highly encourage, if you Republicans, I respect your opinions, and I'd love to hear what you have to say about that. And I think Republicans, you should listen to Democrats, too. I feel like we should listen to each other. And, I think that's really what the problem is in this country. And it's never going to get fixed. I feel like we should have listened to George Washington when he said, political parties are dangerous. And they are. They're very dangerous. And, but, it is what it is. Oh, and do me a favor. If you're an intelligent person, please vote. Because a lot of people who are stupid, they vote. I mean, I remember I had this friend back in high school who was pretty close to being mentally retarded. Needless to say, she thought the sun revolves around the earth. And election day, she came in with a big sticker that says, I voted. So, yeah. So, yeah, you don't, yeah, if you're an intelligent person, I know George Carlin, who's probably one of the most intelligent people who ever lived on this planet, said, he doesn't vote, I don't vote, it's meaningless and stuff, but, if you're an intelligent person, you have to vote. One of my friends had a great saying, which was, you must use the system to defeat the system. Whoever you're going to vote for, I don't judge you. It's just that I'm right and you're wrong. But, that's just the way. And again, I do encourage you, join the discussion. There's a comment section below. Let me know what you think about this whole election, whether you're an Obama fan, a Romney fan, or maybe you don't like politics in general. But I'd love to hear a discussion. But again, please keep it civil. I feel like we don't need any more negativity in this campaign. And I guess that's my rant on politics. I'm sorry that was a long one, and I'm sorry it was about politics. I usually don't rant about politics, but I felt like I need to get some stuff off my chest. I promise next time I'll rant about something more fun. People were talking in the last rant I did about George Lucas, about maybe doing something on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and YouTube and Nickelodeon stuff. I'm going to do all that, and I promise no more of these kind of rants, these local rants. But anyway, I guess that's it, and I guess I'll see you guys soon. Bye. Okay. Yeah, you're still there, aren't you? Okay, so Okay, so Paul Ryan, Mitt Romney's running mate, has something very important he needs to tell Mitt Romney, and he looks like something's really bothering him. And he goes up to Mitt Romney. He's like, "Mitt, I have something I need to tell you. I feel something I need to confess to you." Mitt Romney's like, "Yeah, what's going on?" Oh God, Mitt, I'm so sorry, but I slept with your wife. Mitt Romney looks at Paul Ryan and goes, "Which one?"